Ready to go. Hannah's going to show us how this boat was packed for the field.
Yeah. So in our side forward lockers, we have these day bags and Fowley bags, which are approximately this size. Each of them fits about 3 or 4 of these bags. That's the stuff that we want to keep accessible during the day. Also forward up here, we have the compartment for our water jugs. Each one of these components, when they're full of water, they're a little bit challenging to stuff in this direction. But they come out and can only fit 4. Typically on these other boats we have 6 water jugs. In this compartment, crosswise, we also carry tarp poles.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the only place on this boat we found to carry long poles like that, fishing poles and tarp poles.
And they fit kind of lengthwise like so on top of the water jugs. Okay. In these forward compartments.
Oh, you want this as a...
Nope, that's okay. Anyway. In these 2 compartments, we have sort of our food and kitchen components. We have one large zip bag that has our stove, pots, pans, etc. We also carry our food mostly in these buckets for ease of carrying them. It's not going to be easy. So usually 3 of those. And then typically we'll have a mixture of zip bags and bullet bags, maybe about 3 or 4 of them when we start out full of food. Right now they're full of empty bags and trash.
Yep, not quite as full as when we leave.
Also in these we keep our dive gear, so some wetsuits, fins, weights, etc. In our aft compartments, we keep our fuel separate from our food, and so the aft compartments hold some of the fuel that we bring.
That would be stove fuel.
Stove fuel, correct.
The outboard fuel is on the aft deck.
With a lash point, and also forward.
Here's an unsavory detail. We also carry a bag of poop when we're visiting the islands. That's a requirement.
Yep, exactly. So these are the size of what we call closet bags that carries most of our clothing and personal items. Usually sleeping bags and something about that size.
Yeah. General idea is to keep the stern fairly light. It's a big compartment and it's easy to overload it. Mm-hmm. There is some flotation built in right at the very end of the stern, but as you can see, we're using a lot of this volume. The compartments, as I say, are theoretically watertight, but we also waterproof the items that are in there. So when it's loaded, the boat has lots of reserve buoyancy.
And there's actually quite a bit of room all the way back here. And so these items, these light items like sleeping bags, are all the way in the back. Some yoga mats. We also have a guitar that came with us. And that was the only spot that we found to fit the guitar as well.
Good thing you didn't have a double bass. Alright.
The other side compartment looks pretty much identical to this side compartment as far as what's stowed in it.
Alright. We can look at these more of these side lockers here. This we call the bosun's locker. It signals, it's the VHF radio, it's a first aid kit, it's things like that. And we just have a simple slat and some bungee to keep things in place, and that works pretty well. Lets us have items that need to be accessible during the day, which we don't have to open a watertight compartment for.
Yep. And one thing that we're considering also adding onto these boats are 2 small kind of bungee-esque bags for the smaller things, some lines to practice tying knots with, and gloves and such.
Yeah, yeah. Good to have spare lines to practice with so they don't tie knots in the sheets.
Oh, I found.
All right, I'm running low on battery. Anything else to add quickly? Any differences? I talked a little bit about the difficulty stowing the oars with that raised foredeck.
Yep. Nothing that I can think of at the moment.
Great. Well, that was a pretty good tour. Thank you very much, Hannah.
Yeah.